They didn't just want Argentina to lose on Sunday, they want this to be the end. The end of the era, the end of Messi, the end of the story everyone's been trying to bury for years. They've got the champagne ready, they've got the headlines written, and if this team's history means anything at all, Sunday is going to be the night every single one of them goes quiet again. Because here's what the doubters always forget. This group doesn't play for validation. They've heard every version of this story before every big match for years now, and every single time, this team has found a way to answer with their feet instead of their words. Sunday is just the next chapter, and if history means anything at all, it's not going to end the way the outside world is hoping for. Before we get into why this match matters so much, stick around, because we're going to break down exactly how Scaloni is likely to set this team up. We're going to look at the matchup that could decide the entire game, and we've saved something for the end. The one stat about this Argentina squad that should terrify everyone doubting them right now. So let's get into it. Because really, is there anything more dangerous in football than a team that the entire world has already written off? Pressure doesn't break this group, it builds them. And if you've never worn this shirt, if you've never felt what it means to carry it, the simplest way to understand this team is to watch how they respond every single time someone counts them out. That's the whole story. That's been the whole story for years. So let's talk about what Sunday actually looks like because the setup matters. Expect Scaloni to go with the spine that's carried this team through the tournament so far. Emiliano Martinez marshalling the back line, the partnership of Christian Romero and Lisandro Martinez holding center, fullbacks pushing the width, and a midfield trio built around control rather than chaos. Rodrigo de Paul's engine, Enzo Fernandez's range of passing, and Mac Allister's timing in the final third. Up top, Messi, still the reason 45 million people stop breathing every time he gets on the ball, alongside a striker whose movement has been quietly excellent all tournament and deserves more credit than he's been given. The opponents are going to have a plan, and it's not going to be a bad one. Expect a low block early, patience, a team happy to sit deep and frustrate Argentina's rhythm, waiting for one mistake, one loose touch, one gap in transition to hit on the counter. That's the blueprint every team tries against this Argentina side, because honestly, it's the only blueprint that's ever come close to working. The problem for them is simple. This Argentina team has broken that blueprint before, in bigger moments, on bigger stages, in front of bigger crowds than they'll see on Sunday. And that's the part the doubters keep ignoring. They keep pointing to the slow starts, the nervy first halves, the moments where this team looks stretched and searching. What they conveniently leave out is what happens next. Because this group doesn't need to be perfect for 85 minutes. They've proven over and over again that they only need one window, one mistake from the other side, one moment of magic from Messi, one substitute who changes the entire complexion of the game, and suddenly the entire story flips. That's what makes Sunday so dangerous for whoever's standing across from them. It's not about whether Argentina controls the game for 90 minutes. It's about whether the opponent can survive the 5 minutes where this team decides the game needs deciding. Think about it. Every team that's gone into a match against this generation of players confident, prepared, well-organized, they've all discovered the same thing eventually. You can defend for 80 minutes, you can frustrate them, you can make them work, you can even take a lead. But there's always a moment. There's always a substitution that changes everything, always a set piece that finds the right head, always a ball that falls at exactly the right foot at exactly the right time. That's not luck repeating itself over and over again. That's a team built to find that moment no matter how the match is going. And that's exactly why this hype around Argentina losing feels so familiar. We've heard this story before. We've heard this is the year it ends, before big matches for what feels like forever now. And every single time, this team has walked out and reminded everyone why counting them out is the single worst bet in football. So here's the stat that should worry every doubter reading the headlines this week. This generation of players has been here before, in matches with more pressure than this one, against opponents with more to prove than this one, and they've found a way through more times than anyone predicted they would. That's not hype. That's not blind loyalty. That's a pattern, repeated so many times now that it stopped being surprising years ago. Now let's talk about two players who could be the difference on Sunday, because they don't get talked about enough. First, the midfielder whose engine makes this entire team function. When he's controlling the tempo, Argentina looks calm, patient, in control of matches that could easily slip into chaos. When he's off, you can feel the whole team searching for rhythm. Sunday is going to run through his ability to dictate the pace of the game from the first whistle. And second, the option coming off the bench who spent this tournament being underrated by people who should know better. Every time he's been introduced, he's changed games. Not with flash, but with movement, with timing, with the kind of instinct that doesn't show up in highlight reels until it suddenly does, in the 90th minute, when it matters most. Don't be shocked if Sunday's story ends up being written by a substitute nobody was talking about beforehand. This is what makes this Argentina squad so difficult to prepare for. It's never just about Messi, even though Messi is still Messi, and there will never be another one like him. It's about a team that's built 15 different ways to hurt you, so that even on a night where their biggest name isn't at his sharpest, somebody else steps up and finds the answer anyway. Now before we go, let's have a little fun with this, because the noise around this match has been genuinely funny to watch. Somewhere out there right now, there's a rival fan who's spent the entire week posting confident predictions, who's already decided how this story ends, who's ready to celebrate before a ball has even been kicked. We've seen this movie before, we know how it usually goes. And we're not saying anything, we're just saying, maybe don't post that victory prediction quite so early. Ranks have a funny way of getting respected eventually. The world wants to see this team lose. The world has wanted that for a long time now, and honestly, at some point you'd think people would learn. Because this Argentina team doesn't play to prove doubters wrong. They play like doubters don't exist at all, and somehow, that's exactly what keeps making doubters wrong. So here's what we're doing before Sunday. Stop the ball right here in midfield. Share this video with whoever's been talking trash about this team all week. Tag somebody who thinks this is finally the match where it all falls apart. And get ready, because if this generation has taught us anything at all, it's that counting them out before kickoff has never once worked out the way people expected. Sunday's coming, let's see who's laughing after it. Vamos, Argentina.